So for managers who are trying to retain their talents,
Yeah.
and in some of the industries, for example, right now the social media is really hot, and then newly grads who majored in certain majors would be really popular. And the newly grads, because they didn't really have that much working experience, so they were still exploring about their own strengths or passions. The outside criteria would have really huge influence on them, for example, the salaries. And they want the recognitions really quickly. They want to prove themselves, so their family and their friends put a lot of pressure on them as well. So they really want to establish their fame or their abilities by showing that I can earn really high salaries. So in that case, some of the managers are having problems that the newly hired were gone because they were changing jobs for higher salaries. And the supply and the demand is not so balanced yet. So what your advice for managers to return better employees without unlimitedly raising the salaries?
So I've got three things.
Okay.
Three things that new managers can do, or
Okay.
managers. They don't
Okay.
have to be new managers.
Okay.
But I think it's important to understand that when employees say they want more money, there's often other problems that's contributing to that.
I see.
So I was talking to a senior human resources officer recently,
Yeah.
and he said in the United States, in all the employee engagement surveys he's ever seen, money, request for more money,
Right.
has never appeared higher than number 4 on the list.
I see.
There's always things higher.
Okay. So what are the top three?
So the things that managers can be doing, which relate to those top three, one, and these are in no particular order, they're all valuable. One, sit down with the employee and create a career plan for them.
I see.
So coach them.
Right.
If they feel like you're helping to accelerate their career,
Right.
they're going to have more loyalty to you
True.
and want to stay with you.
I see.
And particularly younger employees right now,
Yeah.
they're very hungry for knowing what
Guidance.
the succession plan is.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to see what their career plan is. And most organizations don't do that well.
True.
The manager, you have a real opportunity to be different by doing that.
Right.
Their plan. And maybe part of the plan is that they leave after 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's better than leaving after 1 year.
Definitely, yes.
So you can build that plan. That's the
Right.
first step you can
Yeah.
do. Second thing you can do, give them challenging stretch projects. So always keep them doing something
Engaging.
different. Yes.
Yes.
So give them something new so they can go home and tell their family and friends,
Right.
I just got put on this
Yes.
project. It's very, very prestigious.
Right,
It's a
right.
very important project.
Right.
And so they can talk about that.
Yeah.
And it allows them to continue to learn. So, but that's a lot of work for a manager, but you've got to do that. Don't give them repetitive tasks. You'll lose
Right,
them more
right.
quickly.
Right.
So,
I see.
so almost think of it as like a rotational program. Every 6 months, they need to be doing something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the second thing.
That really is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work
Yes.
for a manager.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work. So
Yeah.
you have to decide, is that something you can do and invest in?
Right.
But if you have enough employees that are like that, if they're all rotating around, it might be okay.
True.
They can
Yeah,
fill
yeah,
in
yeah.
each other's
Yes.
spots.
Yes.
So that's the second. And the third one, which is easy and the most fundamental, is every day you need to be sharing with them how much you appreciate their work.
Right.
And
So
the-
feedback, positive.
Positive feedback, positive
Timely,
feedback.
yeah.
And that ratio needs to be somewhere between 4 to 1 to 8 to 1.
Which means
4 positive feedback for
Oh.
every 1 critical piece of feedback.
I see.
To 8 positive feedback to every critical
see.
piece of feedback. So lots of appreciation. And it goes back to something earlier we talked about, which says that the number 1 criteria for enjoyment and satisfaction at your work is knowing your manager respects you and appreciates you.
I see.
So do that. Share with them all the reasons why you appreciate them.
Right.
So imagine if you're at a job and your manager appreciates you and respects you and
Right,
shares
right.
that with you every day.
Right.
You have a plan for your career that
Yeah,
they've laid
yeah,
out
yeah.
and are coaching you on,
Right.
and they keep giving you new challenging assignments. Why would you ever want to leave?
True. Yes. Although it's yeah. When I'm thinking from manager's perspective, I also realized how much work and efforts it takes.
That is a lot of work and effort.
Yeah.
But in the end result is you can get more loyal employees. And I see even when they do leave for higher pay,
You can still have good relationships.
you also have good relationships.
Right,
They may
right.
come back and work for you later,
Yeah.
but more likely they'll come back to work for you sooner because they'll realize,
After comparison.
yeah, my new manager, sure I get paid 10% more,
Right.
but my new manager is awful.
I see.
Most managers are not very good.
Okay.
Most managers are average to poor.
Right.
So any way you can incorporate those three things will make you a very good manager and more
Great.
likely to retain talent.
Mm-hmm.